What if everything you have been told about fasting is completely wrong? Not slightly off, fundamentally biologically wrong in a way working against you daily. Here is the hard truth nobody wants to say. The fasting schedule most people follow may be the exact reason your belly fat stopped responding. Not because you are lazy, not because you eat wrong, because your biology has quietly adapted and started hoarding fat instead of burning it. I know that is painful to hear, especially when you have been disciplined, consistent, and doing everything you believed was right. But stay with me. What I am sharing comes directly from human research. Scientists compared 4 fasting windows side by side and measured real fat loss results. The results shocked even the researchers themselves. When you hear what they found, everything about how you fast will permanently change. Here is my warning to you right now. If you skip ahead or leave early, you will miss the one strategy that breaks plateaus for good. Stay with me from start to finish. Every single part of this matters more than you realize. Let me start with something personal. A few years ago, I was completely sold on daily fasting. Same window, same routine, every single day. For a while it worked beautifully, fat was dropping steadily, energy felt sharp and clean. I genuinely believed I had found the perfect answer. Then without any warning, everything stopped working completely. Fat loss slowed to almost nothing. Then it stopped entirely. My energy started crashing in the afternoons badly. My sleep became lighter, broken, and less restorative every single night. My workouts started feeling like a heavy grind. I was pushing harder but getting absolutely nothing back from the effort. And my belly fat, the thing I was targeting most aggressively, became completely unresponsive. It simply refused to move at all. This was not a willpower problem. I was not cheating. I was not slipping up. I was doing exactly what I had always done perfectly. The issue was not discipline. The issue was pure biology fighting back against me. My body had adapted completely, and that adaptation was working directly against every single goal I had set. So I stopped listening to recycled internet fasting advice and went straight to actual human clinical research on fasting instead. What I found completely restructured everything I thought I knew about fasting. It also restructured how I now coach thousands of people stuck like I was. Researchers did not just study fasting generally. They compared 4 distinct fasting windows and measured fat burning, hormones, and metabolic changes at every stage. Here is exactly what they found at each window. Starting with the most basic one, almost everyone already does without realizing it. The 12-hour fast is the baseline. You stop eating at 7 in the evening. You wake up and eat breakfast at 7 in the morning. Research shows this aligns with your circadian rhythm and improves insulin signaling nicely. It helps your body process blood sugar more efficiently too. But for actual fat loss, the results were minimal. The 12-hour fast is a maintenance window, not a transformation window. It keeps you stable only. Next, they studied the 16-hour fast. 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. This is the window that exploded in popularity everywhere online. At 16 hours, your body activates fat oxidation and starts burning fat for fuel. Insulin sensitivity improves, and early results feel very real and exciting. But here is the problem nobody warns you about. Done every single day, your body adapts through rising cortisol levels chronically. When cortisol stays elevated daily, your body recalibrates to maintain weight rather than lose it. This is called cortisol adaptation in the research. This is the exact biological mechanism behind the plateau that millions of daily intermittent fasters hit and cannot understand or break through. The 16-hour fast is a great starting point for beginners, but done daily forever, it becomes a source of metabolic stress, not fat burning. Now at the 24-hour mark, something genuinely powerful starts happening deep inside your body that changes everything dramatically. Research documents a significant drop in insulin at this point. Insulin is the gatekeeper of fat storage. When it drops, the door to fat burning opens wide. But the most exciting part is not even the insulin drop. At 24 hours, your body produces a massive spike in growth hormone. We are talking roughly a 2,000% increase in growth hormone in men, and approximately 1,300% in women. Let that land for a second. Growth hormone is one of the most powerful anti-aging, fat-burning, and muscle-preserving hormones inside your entire body. It is remarkable. It protects lean muscle while your body burns fat simultaneously. It keeps your metabolism firing actively actively. This is why people who fast correctly look lean and healthy. At 24 hours, research also shows a significant increase in autophagy. This is your body's built-in cellular cleanup and repair process. Think of it like a crew going through your cells and removing everything broken, damaged, or dysfunctional. Old mitochondria get replaced with newer, more efficient ones. Mitochondria are the tiny energy-producing structures inside your cells. When they get upgraded, you burn fat better and produce cleaner energy naturally. The 24-hour fast works beautifully when used strategically, not every day, not as a daily routine, but cycled in correctly, the results are extraordinary. Now at 36 hours, the fat loss research becomes completely undeniable. This is where your body enters a state of deep ketosis. When you have fasted long enough that glucose is exhausted, your body pulls fatty acids from stored belly fat and sends them to your liver. Your liver then converts those fatty acids into ketones, specifically compounds called beta-hydroxybutyrate, acetone, and acetoacetate. You do not need to memorize those names. What matters is what ketones actually do inside your body. They fuel your brain more cleanly and efficiently than glucose ever could. More importantly for fat loss, ketones act as powerful signaling molecules. They tell your mitochondria to reproduce, multiply, become more efficient, and burn more fat. At 36 hours, research shows a massive surge in ketone production. Fat cell breakdown accelerates dramatically. Autophagy peaks even higher than at 24 hours. Metabolic flexibility also explodes at this stage. This is your body's ability to switch effortlessly between burning fat and burning carbohydrates based on availability. Metabolic flexibility is the ultimate fat loss goal. It separates people who stay lean year-round from those who struggle and yo-yo endlessly. The fat loss data at 36 hours is not subtle. It is significant, measurable, and completely sustainable when paired with the right protocol. Now, here is where most people go seriously wrong. And I mean people who are already educated about fasting and doing many things correctly. Most people do not fail at fasting because they fast too little. They fail because they fast too much without strategic breaks or proper refeeding. I have been guilty of this myself, and I have coached hundreds of clients who came to me disciplined, consistent, and completely stuck at a plateau. Here is what chronic fasting without breaks does to your body over time. Your body reads the prolonged caloric deficit as a famine signal. Not immediately, not in the first few weeks, but eventually the message your biology receives is clear. Food is scarce. Hoard every fat cell available. Your body then burns muscle for fuel instead of fat. It slows your metabolism to match incoming energy. It enters full survival and conservation mode. Once your body is in survival mode, fasting stops working. Not because fasting is bad, because your approach has convinced your body burning fat is dangerous. The first mistake I see constantly is no refeed day. I call it a metabolic flex day. A full day with 3 proper meals and no fasting at all. Without a refeed day, your metabolism has no reason to stay active. It just keeps adapting downward until fat loss becomes almost completely impossible. The second mistake is not eating enough protein. Protein preserves lean muscle mass while you are in a fasting state. Muscle burns fat even at rest. When people chronically undereat protein during their eating windows, they lose muscle steadily, their metabolism slows significantly, and fat loss grinds to a complete halt. Protein also directly supports thyroid function. Chronic fasting without adequate protein is one of the fastest ways to suppress your thyroid and destroy your metabolism. The third mistake is no metabolic cycling at all. Doing the same fasting window every single day gives your body every reason to adapt downward continuously. Let me share a real client example. She came to me fasting 16 hours daily and occasionally throwing in a 24-hour fast to push harder. She was eating clean during her eating window, doing everything correctly by the book, but her belly fat had not moved in months. Her workouts felt exhausting instead of energizing. Sleep data was getting worse weekly, heart rate variability dropping, deep sleep declining steadily, strength falling in the gym. Here's what I told her: we are spacing out your fasting schedule and adding 1 Sunday refeed day with 3 full meals every single week. Within 10 days, every symptom she had described improved completely. Energy returned, sleep scores went up noticeably, belly fat started responding again. That is not a coincidence. That is biology responding exactly the way it was designed to respond to the right signals. Here is the core principle you need to understand. Fasting is a stress on your body, but stress is not inherently bad at all. Exercise is a stress. Cold exposure is a stress. Applied correctly and in the right amounts, stress makes your body stronger, leaner, and far more resilient. When you fast, you activate a pathway called called AMPK. This is a longevity pathway that triggers autophagy, cellular repair, and aggressive fat burning simultaneously. But there is a concept called hormesis that describes the relationship between stress dose and the response it creates inside your body over time. A moderate dose of stress triggers adaptation and growth. Too much stress without recovery triggers breakdown, decline, immune suppression, and complete metabolic dysfunction. When you fast too often without recovery, cortisol stays chronically elevated, muscle breaks down, metabolism slows to match energy intake, positive stress becomes negative stress. This is what is happening to millions of disciplined fasters who cannot understand why they are not getting the results they were clearly promised. The solution is not more fasting. The solution is always smarter, more strategic fasting with proper recovery built in every single week. So here is the exact protocol based directly on the research. 3 clear options depending on exactly where you are starting from right now. If you are already comfortable with fasting and ready for the most powerful approach, you complete one strategic 36-hour fast per week. Just on every other day, you eat 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal body weight. If your goal is 140 pounds, eat 140 grams of protein daily. Add strength training on your high protein non-fasting days. This preserves and builds lean muscle, keeps your metabolism elevated, and accelerates fat burning significantly. One weekly 36-hour fast paired with high protein refeeding genuinely outperforms daily 16-hour fasting for real and lasting fat loss results. If you are at an intermediate level, you do one 24-hour fast per week. On the other 6 days, you eat within a 12 to 14-hour window. This gives you one powerful weekly spike in growth hormone, ketosis, and autophagy, while shorter daily windows maintain metabolic rhythm without creating cortisol adaptation. If you are a complete beginner, you do a 16-hour fast just 4 days per week. Not 7, not every day. Only 4 days with an 8-hour eating window. Once per week, have a complete refeed day with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Healthy protein, healthy carbohydrates, enough calories to signal that food is abundant and available. This builds your fasting capacity gradually, like building a muscle, without pushing your body into the chronic stress state that creates plateaus and hormonal dysfunction. Now, here are the warning signs that tell you clearly that you have pushed fasting too far already and need to pull back immediately. Cold hands chronically. This is a metabolic signal indicating your thyroid is slowing down in response to prolonged caloric restriction and excessive fasting stress. Poor sleep that keeps getting worse. This is your nervous system clearly telling you it is carrying too much accumulated stress to recover properly at night. Consistent strength loss in the gym over several weeks. This means your body is burning muscle for fuel. Fasting is now actively working against your goals. Persistent irritability that does not go away. This is chronically elevated cortisol doing exactly what stress hormones do when they stay too high for too long. And the most counterintuitive warning sign of all, if you are actually gaining belly fat while fasting consistently, cortisol has completely taken over your fat storage response. Chronic cortisol drives fat storage specifically in the abdominal area. More fasting in this situation does not help. It makes everything significantly worse every single time. These are not willpower failures. They are clear biological alarms your body is sending you. Please treat them exactly as such and respond immediately. Now let me match this to your specific situation because one size fits all fasting advice is a big part of why so many people stay stuck. If you are a complete beginner, start with 12 to 14 hours and focus entirely on food quality first. Protein at every meal. Single ingredient whole foods always. If you have been doing daily 16-hour fasts and hit a wall, stop the daily 16 immediately. Add 124 to 36-hour fast weekly instead. If you are a high-stress professional with cortisol already running high from life, keep fasts under 18 hours maximum. Never skip your weekly refeed day for any reason. If you are lean but carrying stubborn belly fat, the strategic weekly 36-hour fast paired with heavy protein refeed is specifically what your body needs most. If you are over 40 with hormonal shifts or thyroid issues, you need fewer fasts and more recovery. 30 to 40 grams of animal protein at every single meal. Keep your daily fast under 16 hours and never skip the weekly refeed day. Your body needs more recovery signals, not more fasting stress layered on top. Now here is the piece of the fasting conversation that almost nobody talks about but makes an enormous difference in how you actually feel during a fast. Minerals. When you fast beyond 16 hours, your body does not just burn fat. It depletes electrolytes and trace minerals at a significantly accelerated rate simultaneously. Insulin drops during fasting, which causes your kidneys to excrete more sodium. That sodium loss then pulls magnesium, potassium, and calcium out with it rapidly. Most people already start fasting in a mineral deficient state because modern soil is so depleted that even clean diets rarely replenish what the body loses. This is exactly why people feel weak, dizzy, anxious, foggy, or shaky during extended fasts. It is almost never hunger. It is almost always a mineral problem. The solution is fulvic and humic minerals. These come from ancient decomposed plant matter and function as powerful mineral delivery systems for your cells. They carry ionic trace minerals and electrolytes directly into your cells in a form your body can actually absorb and use efficiently during a fasting state. They support cellular energy production. They maintain the electrical balance inside cells that makes fat burning and everything else work the way it should. Critically, they do not break your fast. They actively support it and make the entire fasting experience dramatically cleaner, clearer, and more energizing overall. If fasting has ever made you feel drained or shaky in a way you could not explain, a mineral deficiency was almost certainly the real reason behind it. Addressing minerals can be the single difference between a fast that feels like punishment and one that feels genuinely clean, clear, powerful, and sustainable long term. Now, let me answer the questions I hear most often about this approach before you go apply everything you just learned today. Will a 36-hour fast slow your metabolism? Only if done wrong, only without adequate protein refeeding on surrounding days, and without a weekly metabolic flex day. Done the way I outlined here, paired with high protein refeeding and a proper refeed day, the weekly 36-hour fast actually supports your metabolism strongly. Is 36 hours too extreme for normal people? Fasting is a capacity you build exactly like a muscle. You start at 12, then 16, then 24, then 36. If you attempt 36 hours and stop at 27, you did not fail. There is no such thing as a failed fast. You built capacity and got real benefits. What if you feel dizzy or weak during a long fast? Almost always, this is mineral depletion being exposed, not starvation. Replenish quality minerals and the feeling resolves quickly. Can you work out hard during a 36-hour fast? For 24 hours or less, moderate training is fine. During a 36-hour fast, stick to light movement only. Your body's energy during a 36-hour fast is best directed at fat burning, cellular repair, and autophagy. Do not pull resources away from those critical healing processes. Here is what I want you to take away from everything shared today. You have not failed at fasting. Fasting the way it is commonly taught has failed you. The same daily window, no variation, no refeeding, no strategic cycling. That approach works short term and then quietly becomes the very thing holding you back completely. The research is clear. The biology is clear. The path forward is not more fasting. It is smarter fasting done with intention, variety, and proper recovery every week. One strategic 36-hour fast per week, paired with high protein refeed days and a metabolic flex day, outperforms daily fasting in every meaningful measure tracked. Start exactly where you are right now. Build the capacity slowly. Trust the process completely. Work with your biology and the results will come and actually last. Share this with someone grinding through daily fasting and wondering why nothing is working anymore. They need to hear this more than they probably realize.